That's all right. I take this opportunity to welcome everybody to the Independent Investor Channel live stream. We'll kick it off with a Gen X dividend investor. He says that's right. Appreciate everybody's time this evening making their way on. This is our one opportunity per week to bring the community together for about an hour. Please remember that we keep this live stream kind of within the community for the next 2 hours. We're going to have Kyle and Matt Money as well coming up after the Independent Investor Channel live stream. So just appreciate everybody's time tonight coming on and making this thing happen. The links are broken within StreamYard. I don't know what the deal is. Got a little function problems. I'm going to run the live stream tonight. You guys are going to benefit from some of what has been released this week through the channel. Obviously, there was a couple portfolio reviews. The 2 out of the 3 have been released already this week. Just to give some updates, value is back in play. Certainly the tech rotation, as we expected, as we talked about in the previous couple weeks. It just was on fire there for a while. I'm up insanely in the Vanguard's technology, and I know the triple Qs have just been on fire. You guys are seeing the same thing from an awareness perspective. If you are indeed paying attention to the market, unless you're tuning in to me to get the hot stock pick of the week. But the final portfolio review will come out tomorrow, Saturday. And then I've been doing just an absolute ton of work behind the scenes, working with folks on an individual basis, doing some influencing there, stuff that the audience is not privy to. I'm going to leverage some of those into some videos, a couple great ideas that I've got to roll out, talking about the prospect of sharing information using M1 Finance. It's just been a lot of fun for me. I've had a ton of people hit me up this week. I got pulled out of the gym this week, out of my my boxing, to sit down with an absolute sweetheart of a lady who needed some help, some coaching, discipline more so on the what to do with money question. This comes up all the time. I did one session out sitting by the pool this evening, late into the evening with the mosquitoes and a great couple. So shout out to Eric if he's catching the live stream for sure. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. And something that I'm finding as far as a common theme across people is everybody's got a different idea of what they've heard, about what they think they know about the stock market. And those genuine curiosities about the market can really help start or light that fire that that may be inside you, curiosity that maybe has brought you to the prospects of stock market investing, but maybe by nature of your own personal barriers, you've haven't really drawn up the courage, or you haven't had the right level of coaching or motivation, or the right understanding of investing in a new era. So for you guys that are tuning into the live stream this evening and you have not caught my podcast, I'm not one to get on here and toot my own horn. I do that podcast, honestly, to provide a voice. I came out with 2 this week, investing in a new era, which I was very satisfied with that product. And I rolled out the second product a couple nights later. I was just feeling the nerve, sat down and recorded a podcast contrasting the difference between hard money and soft money. You guys are going to want to catch that content. If your time is too valuable, I totally understand. I value my time as well. But that content right now is available free of charge. All you got to do is pick it up on one of the at least eight podcast nexus. You guys know you can pick it up on Spotify or Apple Podcast. That's where the majority of the content is consumed from for the visitors of the channel. Absolutely. Shout out for the independentinvestorgroup.com. Shout out to Kyle with Passive Income Investor. Fantastic, man. Projects that are really solidifying the community and bringing people together in a lot of different capacities. Certainly, if this is your opportunity to come on and talk finances once in the week, that is absolutely awesome. You're probably more aware by doing just this activity than at least the average bear, but probably more than 90% of people out there who seemingly have really not a lot of clue about what the opportunities are out there in the stock market. So kudos to you guys, and also a special shout out for those folks who have already found their way into the independent investor group. We roll out the WhatsApp, and that is a direct connection right to me. It helps me streamline a little bit of some of the communications. You can hit me up about anything under the sun. I can tell you what most people are asking me about, and that is, of course, budget and finance and my thoughts on what's going on right now, the current pulse of the market, as I'm usually plugged into just that. So for around a couple dollars a month, you can kick on there and kind of become a vested community member. And that's really, it goes right back to supporting the channel. It goes right back to supporting the community as we look to build a network of people who are really into this topic. And I think the cool part about it, Rebecca Thompson's in the group here, she says, looking forward to the show. I appreciate that. I really want each and every one of you guys to feel like you have an ownership over this. And in some capacity or another, you absolutely can. I'm not saying that you need to jump out there and jump into your first 25 stock portfolio, but this is an open door forum here for anybody. If you are an absolute beginning investor, it is the most common the common question that I get, or the common statement, is, I just don't know anything about this. I want to know more. I want to get involved. I just don't know how. And a lot of people learn in a lot of different ways. And I think there's a lot of people out there that are gravitating toward, we're going to streamline the blog product as well on both websites. So at least kick over there, share them to your favorites. It doesn't cost you anything, but just a couple seconds to kick over there, say hello, drop a comment. I rely on this core nucleus to help at least solidify those products, and let me know that you're stopping by and saying hello. But the podcast is one you're going to want to catch, even if you just give it a shot. I've got 7 or 8 on there now, and I film those late at night when it's super quiet. And I almost put myself into a place where I'm speaking to investors about key, really fundamental investing ideas that, if you understand, it'll make you super powerful. Difference between hard dollars, man. Remember, and working on the fishing vessel, jellyfish in my face, man, eyes stinging, cold, wet, tired, hungry. That was the mantra, man. That was our motto. That's what we rolled by. We knew that that's what we were in for every single season for 7 seasons. That, in a nutshell, is what I'm talking about with hard dollars. And I talk about the vicious cycle, people getting caught up in their day-to-day activity, people getting caught up in the inflow and outflow of money, right? Earning that paycheck and always finding something to consume 100% of those dollars. And I think the key is to allow your mind to separate those hard dollars, identify what you're bringing in on your budget with your hard dollars, and then breaking off just a chunk. I always start with that arbitrary $25 figure, and that's to get people mentally to understand that even that $25 in and of itself is hard dollars. But by taking those hard dollars and leveraging those to an assets bucket, you're putting yourself up to make just a small percentage of soft dollars. And I offer the rhetorical question. I think that there is an extremely light community out there who have ever been paid a dividend. And for those in the community here, there's probably a vast majority that have enjoyed being paid a dividend. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. But a dividend in and of itself is that soft money. And the irony in the whole thing is to start yourself on a path and setting yourself up for those soft dollars into the future. And that percentage, as small as it might be at the beginning of establishment, is going to grow over time. Now, your hard dollars may actually decrease as you get older in life. But I think the idea is to start that transition so you're not always working toward the hard dollars, and you don't have anything established for those soft dollar incomes. And I was proud of the product. I thought it was pretty raw when I was putting it down. And then I listened to it back and I was like, all right, I'm satisfied. I give that my stamp of approval. That's going to help a lot of people. If you just spend 29 minutes and 37 seconds giving that product a shot, you're really going to understand what I talk about all the time in the difference of hard money and achieving that soft money. Very few things in this life are going to render those soft dollars. And I find it interesting all the time how everybody wants to do the pie in the sky. How can I get to that $1 million? How can I find that perfect stock from week to week to week to week? And there's a lot of seeking out irrelevance, quite frankly, in the stock market. If you just like to take a page out of Gen X Dividend Investor, right, doesn't do any maneuvering in the portfolio, just remains invested. Is there an underlying lesson to be had there about the discipline that goes into it? I just conversely find it interesting, especially across YouTube. It's very, very simple to buy into the whole, stock of the hour type of mentality. And if you're basing your entire investing fundamental and philosophy on that, you may have a couple wins, absolutely. But it's really, really difficult to justify something that is almost futile if you're trying to make a long-term success out of just always picking those winners, instead of looking to establish a nice portfolio base for yourself. Give yourself a fighting chance to make yourself a little bit more eligible as an investor. I'd be very curious to know what the actual fitness of some of these younger investors are that are gravitating toward some of these really high risk stocks, some of these headline stocks that are really getting a lot of the attention right now. I will tell you that the undercurrent flow this week was the flow to value. I made a fortune this week just by doing nothing and remaining true on value. So, a page out of my personal playbook, yes, separate the hard dollars earned and go for those soft dollars, but also try to set yourself up and have a little bit of perspective on the stock market, day-to-day activity, week-to-week activity. I know we come on here and we rap every single Friday about the pulse of the stock market, and I think that's extremely healthy. But for the most part, investing should be one of those things that you establish as close to in line with your investing strategy as you can possibly get, and then let it go. Let it go. Everybody thinks that they always have to be doing something to make it better. And sometimes doing nothing in investing is the absolute best thing that you can possibly do, right? And I don't think anybody does it better than Gen X. And there's an aspect of my portfolio that I'm really trying to apply that discipline to. You guys know that I'm herky-jerky in and out of certain stock swing trading. I've been able to generate 30 grand this year in trading profit. That's great. I'm in a little bit different camp than a Gen X or a Matt Money or some of these other portfolio builders in that, I'd like to get up to a little bit more of an established base before I just kind of take a little bit more of a dividend type of approach. In other words, I'm trying to manufacture some portfolio cash, and I'm doing a pretty good job at that. And once we get up to that respectable limit, I will again start to build that cash up, which is a primary objective of mine now, and look to establish that dividend base, because in my opinion, dividends can be one of the best reasons to invest, bar none. If you asked me, Ryan, why do I invest? I would say number one, compounding interest. Okay, because anybody can achieve compounding interest and not know a whole lot about the stock market, i.e. ETFs, index funds. Okay. The next best thing, as far as I'm concerned, that does appeal to a large group is dividend growth investing. And those are the two strategies that we roll out on the Independent Investor channel all the time. If you're intrigued by this line of dialogue, Absolutely. Stick around. We'll educate yourself up, because I don't think there's I really don't think there's a better program out there. I know there's a lot of people who want to justify the pie in the sky program and, getting rich overnight, etc., or finding that next best stock of the week. And, again, I wish everybody the best. Hell, I hope you get involved with that type of activity and become millionaires. The problem is the facts, and most people fail at that. And I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but why not put the focus, or the majority on the focus, on aligning a program that is long term? And if truly your focus is on a long term program, then why are you focused on the week to week activity? I think it's justified for certain people with the established base. I think it gives a nice opportunity to seek out some hyper growth. Where Tesla is exploding, Netflix is looking like it's imploding. So there was a few people commenting on what an atrocious quarter that is. And that's all they have. And they also have some stiff competition in streaming services. Netflix is burning through cash like it's going out of style to create phenomenal content. I will say that. But this last quarter that they had was dismal, to say the least. And that's why I'm a shareholder in Netflix, but I don't have a huge percentage of my portfolio in Netflix. It's an anemic position at best. My entire growth portfolio makes up way less than 1% of the portfolio. So if it gives you some level of perspective that I have over those higher growth, higher beta names, you got to tune into my videos to understand how I use and strategically use M1 Finance on the growth side of the house. Now, on the diversified ETF base, my SPDR portfolio, we're almost up $1,000 of capital appreciation in that. $900 of profit and $100 in dividends. I've owned the account just over a year. All those stock profits are long capital gains now. I couldn't be happier with the progress in that. And for you guys, again, that are looking at getting exposure to the stock market and you're looking to do so passively, man, that's got to get your attention. It's kind of a hybrid way of investing. I had never seen anybody attempt to do that. And I'm here to tell you, I'm ecstatic, coupled with the power of M1 Finance. Absolutely. Because once those dollars do flow in there, they go to fund the underlying sector. So when we do have a sector rotation like we have now out of technology and into old tech and other areas of the market that are really looking attractive right here, telecom for sure looks good to me. Energy, I think, has found a little bit of stability, still extremely volatile. And then finally, financials, which is select financials, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs. Those are the ones that jump out at me for sure. And I don't own Morgan Stanley. That was kind of a bad move on my part, not picking it up. But I will say that the insurers are on fire. Travelers Insurance, I know that's a favorite, a Gen X dividend investor. But my MetLife is kicking some tail right now. So some very encouraging pockets in the market. And I think my point is, if you didn't know a whole lot about investing, you don't have to tune in to me and rewind it and try to hear what I just said. What's the ticker symbol for Travelers so I can just go jump in it? No, the idea is if you want to be a passive investor, you can enter into those specialty ETFs in the manner that I do with M1 Finance. And I'm killing it. I'm absolutely killing it, man, on such a small portfolio with just about $9,000 in that portfolio. We're 90% toward our $10,000 goal, guys. For you guys that have been with me forever, it's one of those that I rolled out, and I told you I was going to break down this barrier for anybody that was willing to listen. Anybody out there that's got that first $500 rubbing together nickels, having a hard time separating those hard dollars to soft dollars, man, I do that stuff for you guys. I didn't have to start that SPDR portfolio, and I did a little bit experimental, but I did it to duplicate what I thought would be indicative of a nice beginning portfolio with exposure to all 11 sectors in the S&P 500, and using the opportunity with M1 Finance to, number one, not start with a whole lot of money. Number two, to enjoy portfolio redistribution of funds, right? So when those dividends are paid within that portfolio, they go to that sector that might be hurting. So during the energy downturn, it was buying pretty aggressively in energy. Now I'm up 5% in energy. Somehow I've managed to be down in the real estate specialty ETF in my Roth IRA, and I'm actually up 8% in the Spider portfolio. The difference between the two is I'm constantly jerking around with my positions in my portfolio, whereas M1 Finance inherently kind of bakes in some discipline for you. I don't want to sell anything on M1 Finance because I don't want to ruin my pie that I've set up. And that discipline really helps even an investor like mine with the discipline that I have. I really think it can help a lot of new investors out there as well that are worrying about managing their portfolio all the time or having to keep an eye on it. I have not done one single thing in that portfolio in over a year, and I'm up very nicely in the portfolio, up way over 10%. So again, breaking down those barriers. This isn't made up stuff, guys. These are real. That's why I'm pretty aggressive on showing those portfolios, because I think if I were a new investor, I think it'd be awful cool to come on to a YouTube channel and just see what you're working with. I don't need to sit and listen to somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience in the market and then really not have any skin in the game. I think I carry a lot of respect. There's a lot of knowledgeable people out there without a lot of skin in the game. And I've always had a lot of skin in the game, so I really don't have a problem with saying that's just my program, right, wrong, or indifferent. And I think a lot of people can absolutely relate with that. So really appreciate it, guys. Would just ask that you kick over and help support those other initiatives, because I can tell you that those podcasts are significantly different. I don't know if I get into a different a different state of mind when I roll those products out, but I do. I really do. And I think for the few people that have watched it and commented back or listened to it and commented back, I think they find that it's very enjoyable for a few minutes of peace. Got Bob right in the group here. Welcome to you, my friend. It's awesome. It is always good. That's fantastic. We try. It's not that difficult for me, man. This is my favorite topic. I had a weird inkling in my head. I was like, okay, my links are broken. I don't have to share my time with anybody. So it brought me back to the old school. I went back and I watched my very first live stream from New York City, no green screen, power strip behind me, all jacked up with the camera. I didn't have the HD Logi, and it's a lot of fun. As slow as we're evolving this project, I don't really care, because each and every person is a visitor to the channel and an opportunity to connect through a network of wealth builders. And it really solidifies the relationship. It really does, when you can find a message like mine and in some form or fashion. I don't care if it's $500. I don't care if it's $500,000. If you can tune into my message and start yourself on a personal empowerment path, that's all the payment I need. I just think that's fabulous. And it's as good a topic as any. If you came and you hit the bag with me, I could teach you how to throw a beautiful jab. I can teach you that. If you want to try to go running with me, you can. I'm a savage. But as far as personal finance goes, this project wouldn't be as possible if we didn't have the help of YouTube to bring together a community like this. Furthermore, M1 Finance has really opened up the opportunity for me to share information in the manner that I envisioned it to be shared. So absolutely, the channel still remain open. We're going to be condensing my time a little bit. We're going to be leveraging that time a little bit, but I do make myself incredibly available for people who really want to learn. So if you heard what I just said, don't be afraid to take me up on the opportunity. It's just life-changing, no big deal. All right, very cool. All right. And we've got Mr. Kyle, passive income investor. Shout out. Kyle always pops on before the live stream. And I do apologize if there was anybody out there that intended to come on with me this evening. I don't know what the deal is. I may have had to do a hard restart. I did some updates actually this evening, and that may have jacked with the links, but I sure tried. And it's just not working tonight. So you get me for the entire rest of the 35 minutes here, which is too bad because I kind of miss the old school days of the 2-hour live stream. And I've had a few people been like, man, I miss it too, but it's all right. It's try to scale back a little bit on the time spent on social media. This can be a very, very consuming project, and I really want to focus my time, get in, get out, talk to you kind folks, touch base on a consistent basis, make sure everything's okay. If you need support, great. I am an influencer. You can get very, very excited by listening to me. You should. I'm very excited to be an investor myself. I mean, the 3 accounts just plopped over 300, 312 and change. Today we were down 1,000 in the morning, up 1,000 in the afternoon, ended up $400 or $500 into some interesting territory for me. You have to understand a little bit about what cloth I'm cut from. I don't come from money. I started with nothing. We've built this up from nothing. Well, I wouldn't say nothing. We started the accounts with $1,500, which is pretty much in line with what anybody could expect as a starting amount to building wealth and building capital in the correct way, the tax protected and wealth preserved way. But we've done quite well for ourselves in a fairly short amount of time. So I don't come on here and put on a skirt and dance around and do all that crap. I just tell you the real talk. People need to hear this stuff. If you really want to truly be a wealth builder, this is the spot. This is the spot. Absolutely. Each 123 people in this live stream, they're getting a refreshing tutorial from somebody who started with nothing and is building up the product in a way that can be scaled. And that's the key, is for anybody out there that's looking to also wealth build. What is the account? I've had a few people ask me, Ryan, I need to roll out a video on brokerages. I think sometimes we overblow the importance of the broker and the conduit. I think it comes down to aesthetics. I'd really like to know, I don't think Gen X has done a product like this, but I'd really love to know Gen X's thought on this particular topic. And I don't even know who Gen X holds for a broker. I'd really like to know. But I think we revolve around the same: TD Ameritrade, Fidelity, Charles Schwab as well. I'm a personal fan of Merrill. That's just who I'm with. I think the point of this takeaway is, if you're a new investor out there and you're looking to fine tune your options, I just gave you 4. I would throw E-Trade in there to make it an even 5. And that makes the deliberation and the research that you could potentially do to get yourself an account started. Starting an account costs you nothing. What are you afraid of? Get it started. Let's rock and roll. All right. So Cole Kramer says, what's up? Appreciate you making your way in here, Cole. Thank you so much. Appreciate the support. Very cool. Love it, man. The independent investor says, life is good. Good evening, everyone. Life is good. It is good. I went running today. I lifted and I ran today. So I did a double whammy as far as the physical fitness piece. I got somebody just tipped me. Man, if I could put this on the deal, man. Investing wisely in the house, man. It's great to see you, my friend. Very cool. It's amazing how we've evolved over the years. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much, man. Very cool how we've evolved on the channel, and to see these familiar faces kick in here that has been with the message for a while. Personal empowerment message, to be specific. It's kind of cool to see these folks kick in here and say what up. Appreciate it. Everybody needs to understand that Gen X is getting his carpet cleaned. I'm not really sure how. He always says that I can take any question and turn it into an investing opportunity. Man, Gen X, I don't know what you want me to do with that, partner, man, but that's great. It's you got the kids, so you got to do it. So good job, man. It's going to smell nice at the Gen X dividend investor household. So very cool. I'm sure that makes the missus happy anyway. There's something about clean carpet that makes you feel homely. That's for sure. Very cool. Yeah, Randy with Retire with Options, who's got a highlighter. He just hit me in the face with RWO. I didn't even hardly recognize him. You get used to people's thumbnails, and I get used to talking to those same thumbnails. And RWO changed it up. Says, how about Netflix? I've already talking a little bit about it. You know, my whole perspective is Tesla could go bankrupt tomorrow. Do I own the stock? Yes. But the point of me putting out these videos to show how you can get some exposure to companies like Amazon that's run up, Tesla, if that's your thing, do it, but do it with some serious scale, guys. You know, pick 5% of the total overall portfolio value that you have. For example, if you've got $1,000, take $50 and put it into an aggressive section of the portfolio. And you can do that with very, very little money. I think M1 might have a minimum in there, so 50 might be a little light. But you get my point. If you want to kick it up to 10%, go ahead. $100, pick 3 or 4 of those higher beta dividend growth names that you want to invest in. I've had a lot of people hit me up on Uber. Yeah, I'm bullish on Uber. I like to own the stock. It's a very, very minute percentage of allocation to my portfolio. It's just a little glimmer of hope in the portfolio. My growth portfolio is up $2,800, man, since I started it. It's not anything to shake a stick at. So those are real results for passively investing in stocks that seemingly are uninvestable in. I'm investing in them, but I'm doing so with scale. But yeah, it was an ugly quarter, Randy. I agree with you for sure. It was nasty. So very good. I gotta give All Good some time. So All Good gets some time. It's been a while since All Good has popped into the live stream. Before the live stream, I might say. She's pretty private, but in all honesty, one of the backbones of this community. There's no doubt about it. It just wouldn't be the same without you. And that's speaking some truth for a second. Not to get all sappy on you and move away from the investing topic because it's so riveting. But I got to give All Good the due props, and that's exactly what I just did for a couple moments. All Good, thank you for making your way in here. Your devotion is unquestionable. Thank you so much. Very cool. All righty. And Gen X, I wish you could at people from your phone. I didn't know you couldn't do that, man. Very interesting. I think somebody just tipped me another $5. Man alive, this is incredible. You guys better be careful. This might be indicative of a JMac investing live stream. I don't know. I hope he wasn't offended this week. I didn't catch the Wednesday live stream, and that was for good reason. I was spending some quality time away from YouTube. And those that follow my channel, if you want to catch the opportunities when I roll them out, great. But I will never let social media consume my opportunity. And when I'm off YouTube, I'm off. I walk away. I have no qualms about doing that. I'm usually spending time resting, maybe creating, yes, maybe doing other conduits. Like this week for me, the creative release was through the podcast. But I've been pretty light on my upload schedule to YouTube, and I also don't apologize for that either. So the last thing I want to do is go watch YouTube when I'm taking my personal time. That's not in my repertoire. I don't do it. So I'm with you guys tonight, and that's good enough. Very cool. So anyway, very cool. So Miss Helene, thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Not necessary. You know that. I always like to offer this live stream as just a back and forth. This is the most engaging product that we roll out on the channel. Try to help answer questions. I can be a little bit more engaging with the group when I'm by myself, as opposed to last week where I had Kay Scholl with Kyle with financial awareness. That was a big treat for me. And so another shout out to Kyle for coming on and sharing those insights. I thought it was a really good product to roll out, to see the deliberation between two schools of thought really. And we touched on it in depth. It was just trying to provide awareness to what's out there. And Miss Bryant says, "What's up, peeps? I was a day ahead yesterday. I was cussing because I thought I missed the live cast." Well, I do appreciate that. Just a regular fella. So I'm the same fella away from YouTube. So you're not getting anything special. Okay. I throw a random dry humor joke in there, but that's about the best I can do. So don't expect any more. It's not going to happen. This is what you get. I got the New York investor in the group here. Says, "What's up?" I got grinding retire as well. So I think I awarded one wrench tonight to D Tanks as well. Just one of those perks, actually, one of those fun perks, man. The whole idea of that community aspect here, and I've had a lot of people now with an established audience ask me, how can we support the channel? I did roll out a donation opportunity there. I'm going to think of some creative ways to integrate charity into the Independent Investor channel. I'm all about that. But for the meantime, while we do grow that donation base, I'm going to think of a way to really get into maybe doing a drawing around Christmas time. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So things that you're going to want to be a part of. And if nothing else, the value is in the WhatsApp group for sure. To have direct comms with me like that, I don't know if you can have that level of direct comms and opportunity with your financial planner. So, and you're going to pay an arm and a leg for that. So a little plug there for that for sure. Got my good friend David Oldenburg from the West Coast as well in the group. I really appreciate you coming on here, my brother. Shout out to the West Coast. Enjoy that weather. It is hot as heck in here in Virginia, man. I was a puddle tonight running. A puddle, by God. Not too bad for a 42-year-old, though, man. There was nobody else out there. There was no youngins. It was just me running next to the pond, staying healthy, doing my thing. Mr. Chris in the house. I'll never call him sir again, ever. It slips every now and then, and I say it out of respect. That's for sure. He got mad at me and says, "I work for a living," and I should know better too, because I don't. If you guys know what I do for a living, it's I'm on the working side of the house as well. So, but by nature of habit, I have to do that at work. So it's great to see you, Chris. Thank you so much. I appreciate the dialogue today. That was fun. Appreciate it, man. Very cool. And Chris as well is a guest of the group. So we've got some of the kind of the OGs, I guess, of the community who have also just made their way into there. And I appreciate that. They can help me facilitate the discussion. There's only one of me, but a lot of people who have been with me for a long time, like Chris and tons of other people in here, they know my perspective on investing, and there, I've got some people signing up already. So very, very cool. It's a great way to give back to the community, and also get a heck of a lot of value. I like Kyle. He says something really interesting, over deliver on the value, and people really can't argue with you on that. That really resonated with me when he said that. I couldn't agree more. And we're going to, it's starting. So we're going to evolve the product, and you got to be patient with it. So if you are a plank owner in the product, just be patient with us. And we're going to scale it correctly. We're going to scale it slowly, but we're going to scale it with quality. And I've already delivered a ton of quality. I woke up last weekend after the plug. I had some people in there, and I was sharing some of my real estate insights, some of those resources, invaluable information, stuff that's taken me a lifetime to identify, get some philosophies on how I'm looking to branch out this network of individuals. And, there's some killer people in this group here that would probably be more the wiser or more interested in starting to branch out the network. This isn't the end all be all of this opportunity. In one word, I really try to focus on growing a strong core and network of people to put something special together someday. And you guys be better the wiser to understand what that vision of mine entails. So very cool. So Grinding Retire comes on the Independent Investor channel live stream to shout out Gen X Dividend Investor. So I've heard of them before. Thank you for that. I appreciate you coming on my live stream and shouting out Gen X. Just kidding. And Gen X is the best as far as I'm concerned, man. Number one. And doesn't have to come in here and support my channel, but does. And absolutely, I feel absolutely the same about Gen X Dividend Investor, a featured channel of mine, and will continue to be as we evolve as a community and grow the audience. Absolutely. You're very cool. So, all right. Christopher Blaine, did it arrive yet? I think they've got a secret deal going on. You better buckle your seatbelt for that, man. I'm telling you, Chris doesn't screw around. It's some good stuff. I'm telling you, it's good. It's hot sauce, guys. All right. I'm not talking about anything crazy here. We're talking about hot sauce. The hot sauce guru is in the house. I don't know, man. That Aleppo stuff that you sent me, it's like a little too much for me. Kyle was bragging that he's pretty much the hot sauce king of the world, and we'll see. I don't know. Hopefully you sent him that other crazy stuff you were telling me about. Let's see how awesome he is when he lights himself up with that. That stuff is crazy. The backyard blend, that was really good. I already finished the entire bottle. So people from all walks of life, and Chris is absolutely the hot sauce guru. We got to think about how we can get Chris a hot sauce website in the making, because I think he could make a freaking fortune, because he's good, man. He's got some serious skills, man. So very cool. Chris just says another day in the neighborhood. Yes, sir, it is. That's I'm so sorry. I wasn't calling you sir, Chris. He's probably laughing at me now. Very cool. Yeah, all right. I'm like you. I don't tell anyone how much I'm working toward things. Love your 10 stock shootout. So I think that's at Gen X. I don't think that's toward me. Very cool. That might have been mine. I don't know. But very cool. There he is. He's getting mad at me. He says he works for a living. I did too, man. I don't know anything but work. When I talk about those hard dollars, I remember my very first under the table wages were for $5.25. And I had to pick weeds from a row of Nandinas at a landscaping place. That was my first job, landscaping, rolling sod, picking weeds. Crazy hard stuff, man. So very cool. I got a bunch of people popping in here, man. You guys are missing out for sure. That's very cool. All right. Scroll through here and see if I can get to. Usually we get this thing cooking, and I got to jump off because I don't have the good questions until the very bottom. So I'm going to try to cool. He says, Grinding Retire. Very cool. Independent. How are you? Been a long time. 5:10 a.m. in the stand. Wow, that's crazy. Thank you so much for your devotion. I appreciate you popping in and saying hello if you're still on. Very cool. You got a little airtime. That's what it's all about, man, connecting people. Now I'm actually leaving flags on my comments for all the international people who are tuning in and getting a little insight here from a U.S. investor, that of which I am. So hopefully we're delivering the goods. Absolutely. There's Dividend driver James. I think he likes me too, but again, he comes on the live stream to say hi to Gen X. Getting a lot of airtime tonight, Gen X, so enjoy it. You got clean carpets and a lot of airtime. Good job, man. You're leveraging your opportunity here on the live stream, man. Why don't you come on and say hello one of these days? That'd be awesome. You don't even have to come on live. Just kick on an hour before and say hello, man. It'd be awesome. No, I'm just kidding. I appreciate the back and forth on the comments, man. Always so thoughtful with the comments. Very cool. Proper 19. Great to see you. Nice thumbnail by the chance. That's cool. Really cool. I like it. How about that, Spice? Yeah, Virgin Galactic. That's, you can't own them all. You guys, probably know the opinion on the SPACs. We'll continue to monitor it. I think the number one is highly on right here in between the 20 and 30 mark. I think 20 at support and 30 at a ceiling. And without a catalyst, the stock's not going to move. It's just pretty simple. It's trying to value itself where there's very little to value, very anemic. Crack at a balance. You can actually see the balance sheet on the SEC website, but other than that, in the investor presentation, the CFO just threw some numbers on there, addressable market, etc. Some good stuff, really good stuff. I mean, I wouldn't have invested if I didn't see anything that wasn't good. But we're holding true on the shares. We're fine. We're long the shares. We'll see what happens, and we'll see. This merger can't come soon enough, in my opinion, because I think that's going to be the catalyst that moves the stock. That's just my opinion. Bob says they're looking for a bailout. Yeah, I don't understand these billionaires, man. Just go on vacation for the rest of your life, man. You're already a winner. What are you doing? So Bill Ackman's trying to get involved and raise $8 billion on the SPAC, the back of the SPAC thing. That's great. He'll probably make a ton of money, and tens of thousands of others will probably lose money. So he'll figure out how to leverage it to make a ton of money. So we'll see what happens with that. Very cool. Chris says, I'm sure that's what everybody says about free money. Yeah, I don't know. I'm take a little more old school perspective. I think working for the money, and nothing comes easy. Nothing. If I do end up making a win out of these SPAC stocks, which they're mostly hype as far as right now, they really haven't made anything significant for the risk that I'm taking. So the verdict is still out. I'm more interested in the movement in Goldman Sachs from this week, quite frankly. And for anybody who picked it up sub 100, you got a great entry. Those that are buying Walmart outright right here at 130, I think Walmart, if I'm going to offer a stock pick of the week for you, buy Walmart. It's a small company. And it'll probably do you good over the long term. But Travelers as well, done quite well. Some other hidden gems. Pfizer's come off the low 30s. That's been nice. AbbVie, Medtronic, another good one, just to name a few that I've noticed really has got my attention. IBM has come off of its lows nicely. Cisco has come off of its lows, where Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook are selling off, with Google as well. Some of the old tech has actually done quite well. I could justify picking up Intel here, sub 60. That's fine. Yeah, value was the play this week. I guess my point in mentioning that is the stock market's always going to keep you guessing. I've said many, many times, the second you think you've got this thing understood, that's when it hits you upside the head and gives you a reality check. So let's try to avoid the upside the head as much as we possibly can. Okay, guys? The way you can do that is investing with your head screwed on straight most of the time. Okay, it's not that hard. Pick the very best companies out there. Shoot, if you guys heard what I said about Lowe's, you'd be in the money. You could have tripped and fell into Home Depot and done just fine for yourself as well. Just try not to make it more difficult than it needs to be, okay? Costco, you've heard of that company. That's another good one. You might want to, would have been nice to get it sub 300. It sat there and waved at you for a while. Now at 325-ish, 330, stocks provided a nice base for those folks that have taken a nice entry into the position. So anyway, you guys are still talking Virgin. Good luck. Good luck. I won't be investing anymore in speculation. I'm good, and we'll see where it goes. I don't expect more out of speculation than what it has to offer. So you have to have realistic expectations about your stock picks. So just be kind of careful. All right. Ford at least turns a profit, certainly, right? So yeah, from a value investing perspective, I think the big thing with the big auto is the unions, and that's why I won't ever touch them. I just think there's a big sell of consumption. There's a big leech on the side of Ford that will always be there, and that's the unions. Okay, so that's why I won't touch big auto. There's certain subsectors of industrials that I, and any sector for that matter, that I just typically don't like to invest in. And that's one of them. I've never owned Ford. I have no plans on owning Ford or GM. If I was going to buy an auto right here, I did look at Toyota this week. Toyota looks really good. My second pick would be Honda. So, I mean, I don't know why you're trying to overthink it, to be honest with you. There's a reason why Ford trades at $7 a share. You might throw tomatoes at me and say, no, Ryan, it's $9. Okay, well, my point exactly. All right, you're going to get with what you pay for. Not a big fan of Ford. All right, very cool. Mr. Bob, there will probably be some mergers. Yep, we got Anthony. Money mindset. Appreciate you coming on. Hope all is well, Anthony. Very cool. Lowering the bar and celebrating beating the estimate seems to be a game. It always will be. Netflix doesn't do that, actually. They're pretty conservative. I actually look for them to come out and just blow away the numbers next quarter. I think they probably figured that they got a pass over the last couple months anyway. It's just alarming because I would have thought more people would be signing up for the service. However, let's be real, people are suffering right now. So those luxuries, like I hate to break it to you, you don't need Netflix. Okay. You don't. People are like, what, Ryan? Are you serious? No, you don't need it. Okay. Go run on the road. It's free. It's free of charge. And it'll lengthen your life. I don't know. Seems attractive to me. Give it a try. You'll be amazed at how fulfilling it is. It's great. Mr. Giffen, in the road, hustling, doing great. Hope all's well with you and the family. Thanks for coming on, my brother. Very cool. So Giancarlo, very cool. Says, what's up? Appreciate you coming on, man. Very cool. All right. What's our dividend stock of the week? Well, I can't give you Walmart. Walmart pretty anemic dividend. Dividend stock of the week. Well, BlackRock just blew away the quarter. How come nobody talks about these other companies? Largest asset manager in the world, man. And BlackRock just blew out the numbers, man. 10 billion, I think, of inflows. And they manage about 6 trillion, I believe, of assets there at Blackstone. I take a look. Bank of America looks interesting here on the dip, 3.1% dividend. Financials, specifically the insurers, look pretty good right here. They've had a little decent run, but I think MetLife trades at 4 or 5 times forward earnings. I picked it up on a value play, and I think it pays a 5% dividend. I think you could probably trip and fall into some energy. Energy's always been one of my favorite sectors. I love it, and I don't really care. It's showing some strength here and not getting as much headline risk. And I think there's you never really know what's going on subsurface and energy, but hopefully that does end up shaking out a little bit. Of course, Pfizer, I think AT&T sub 20, sub 30 at 29 is a nice entry on AT&T, ticker symbol T. I could keep going. IBM right here, Cisco, sure. Jam some of these nice cornerstones into the portfolio, and these are all stocks that I personally own, and that's where I'd be looking. It seems like I'm forgetting one that I'm gonna kick myself for not offering, but if I think about it, I'm gonna throw it out within the next 7 minutes. That's a very cool question. Thank you. It's an open-ended question. It allows me to gotta do it. Hey, somebody's having fun. I'm having fun. I have fun every Friday. It's great to see that somebody's having fun with me. Very cool. And Adrian rocking. I always like that motorcycle, man. I just look at it and I'm like, dang, that's awesome. If that's all you could aspire to someday, just to have an awesome motorcycle like that, wouldn't that be just cool? I don't know. It's just cool. It's very cool. I'll live vicariously through you. I'll never own one. Never. I'm too careful. Yep, Kraft, you bet. There's a value play for you. Sure, General Mills. How about that? Yeah, I like Kraft Heinz right here at this valuation. It's good. It's been come off a couple tough years. I think it's looking really good. I think that's a smart move. Nice work. I'm up pretty good actually. So Dan Tanks, let's give him a round of applause for earning his wrench tonight. Very awesome. And I need to go in there and award a couple more wrenches. So if you guys are making your way in, get your highlight comments, just establish yourself in the group. A lot of people I've awarded wrenches to previously. That's fine. Going forward, it's going to be one of those perks, membership things that we just throw your way for fun. It's all about fun. That's all it is. And it's just an opportunity for you to show your support for the community. And I do thank you for that. Very cool. So, Mr. Tanks, very cool. Now, see, I can say sir to this individual. So nice to see you, sir. He knows what I'm talking about. Very cool. And Gen X hasn't got a lot of attention tonight, so I'm going to put him on the screen, and we're going to all take just a couple seconds to acknowledge Gen X Dividend Investor in the group here. All right, cool. Carrying on. I appreciate it. Says I'm on my phone, so he's still trying to figure out that problem he's got going on there. Yeah, Microsoft has run up pretty good. I still think it's a great stock, one of the best technologies, if not number one. I like it. It's solid. Long position for me, easy to. You don't get too cute with Microsoft. Own a small position if you're worried about the scale, but Microsoft's one of those top companies that'll be fine long term for sure. It's just, you imagine your portfolio without Microsoft. Yeah, it just seems like you're missing something, doesn't it? Sure. And if you do own the S&P, of course, you do own a piece. If you own a technology ETF, of course, you own a smaller piece to it. But if you do want to get a little more aggressive on the holding, pick up some individual shares of Microsoft. And Bob Wright, the stock guru, is taking care of business. I had sold some Microsoft and bought it back. So he's feeling the pain of trading out of a good name. That's usually what happens. Very cool. I was slowly draw down the 200 range. Good eye. Probably Microsoft and Mr. Larry Massa. Very cool. Some good dialogue this week with Larry. I appreciate your words, man, for sure. Had some cool advice this week. Excuse me. Very cool. Hopping in here, I see. There's Dave. Finally gets the shot out. I got 4 minutes left, Dave. What happened, man? Very cool. And I got Christian Gonzalez about to eat some dinner. Love the stream. Fantastic. We roll it out for an hour. This was a fun stream for me for sure. I was a little bit disappointed that I at least couldn't provide the option and rollout for you guys that are new. I'll start to close it down a little bit, but I typically do roll out the option. Absolutely. For channel creators and subscribers to come on, download the software, jump into the broadcast. It's a lot of fun. If you're ever tempted about coming onto the live stream, man, do it. What do you have to lose? I'm hardly a social media guy, so you can come on here and we can both be non-social media people together. It's a good opportunity to say what's up and say your piece. You know, if there's a testimonial or a story specifically is what I'm looking for. Maybe how you interpret the information and have deployed the information for your wealth building program. That's what I'm searching for if you want to know the truth of it. So get the inked investor in the house. Very cool. Great to see you, my friend. Awesome. Life is good. Ribeye, bacon wrap, shrimp, artichoke, and okay. That's ridiculous. Okay. Very cool. I had leftovers tonight. Very cool. We always try to cook a dinner and then get at least one dinner out of it the next dinner. Yeah. It's a budgeting tip of the night right there. All right. Try to get 2 meals out of one. There's your budgeting tip out of the independent investor household, man. That's what we try to do. So very cool. Yeah. Proper 19. Hungry. Very cool. I'm going to try to shore up on time tonight, guys. I just think in closing, this was a cool opportunity for me to run the stream. I did use StreamYard tonight. Typically, when I do run it myself, I run it through YouTube, which is fine. But you're going to want to make sure if you have not kicked over to the other social media platforms, certainly other channel creators here, you can help and subscribe them. Cost you nothing to do so. Really helps us solidify and build. There's a lot of channels that are growing quite nicely in the community. Just ethos. We just try to get those shout outs as much as we can, and we'll keep trudging it forward. Thank you, Independent, for another great live stream. It was a lot of fun tonight, and thank you for making your way on here and hearing some of my insights about what's going on in the market. Come on, guys, you got to make it on a little earlier than that. I got 1 minute. Maybe you can kick on to the next one. I don't know. I still get a pretty good showing of people from around the world that tune into these when they can't do it at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So you get a little bit of grief from Ryan, but nonetheless, Jaden's in the house, a great mind in the investing community. Great to have you. Jerry as well, who I invited on the stream. It wouldn't have done any good tonight. I do apologize for that. But anyway, guys, super cool. Please consider my invite as a personal invite to all the plank owners, to the community. Absolutely. You're all part of the family. We'll continue to be part of the family. I'll continue to roll out my products. I think the secret to catching my message in the most effective way is to make sure that you're catching it on all of the social media platforms that I represent. And I work pretty hard to establish those platforms. All I ask you to do is to walk through the open door, because it can be empowering. No doubt about it. That at the end of the day is what we're aiming to do. And I believe we're doing that. And we'll continue to push the conversation forward, roll this product out, because again, I never know who's going to make their way into the Independent Investor live stream. So week in and week out, you get my absolute undivided attention and effort to try to get to those people and hear something and provide awareness on a topic that they may not be as aware as they need to be on. With that, guys, we'll shore up the live stream. Please tune in next week, Friday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for the Independent Investor Channel live stream. Take it easy. Thank you for your time. Have a great weekend. Take it easy, guys.